Alright, what's up guys? So I played the Project Resistance closed beta on PlayStation 4. It eventually came to Xbox One. Essentially how you got into this was being part of the Resident Evil Ambassador program and signing up to be able to play this beta. It was as simple as that, and then you obviously had to see if you got chosen. So Project Resistance, for those unfamiliar, is an upcoming game in the Resident Evil series. It's not a mainline Resident Evil game. It's a complete spin-off where it is an asymmetrical gameplay. And what that means is the idea of one person controlling, in this case, it's usually monsters in games or, you know, villains or something. So in this game, you play as a character called the Mastermind. His name is Daniel. They're going to be adding more of these masterminds, I'm assuming, in the future. We already got a tease of one of them being Annette Birkin from Resident Evil 2. And essentially, they're played through a camera, and they can take the camera and go to the different rooms where the survivors are going through, and then they can take on being some of the creatures such as the zombies or even Mr. X, and then placing traps to slow down the survivors. And then you play as 4 survivors trying to get through the area, dealing with the mastermind on the way. So how the survivors win is by getting through the 3 areas in enough time and surviving. Just like something like Dead by Daylight, you can beat it without staying as a full team. So let's say you open up the exit in the final area, which would be Area 3, and none of your teammates are around. You can escape by yourself, just like Dead by Daylight. Or you can go back and ensure that your teammates all escape together. As a mastermind, you want to make the survivors run out of time. You do that by hurting them, you do that by killing them, etc. Things like that. Or if they just don't find the exit or the objectives. Also, I should mention, as the survivors, doing things like killing the enemies, destroying traps and all that also awards you with time. So it's meant for quick gameplay, quick rounds, being able to go in and out. That's the whole idea behind it. Same thing, like I said, like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. It's meant for high replayability. I'm going to say right off the bat, guys, I like this game. I know, I'm going to repeat it again. I like Project Resistance. I think it's very fun, the idea behind it, and I think that it could be something so much better if it just has more polish and a lot of fixes. I'm going to say this right now. This game is extremely unbalanced in its current state. Extremely, extremely unbalanced, and that needs to be addressed. Thankfully, Capcom has said that they want feedback from the people who've played it to be able to make this the best possible game. And I like that, because one thing you could always count on is fan feedback being addressed will always just get people to be happy, be more positive of the idea of the project, etc. I like what the game is supposed to be. I like what it represents, but there's a lot of issues. I'm going to obviously talk about things that I like and things that I dislike, things that I also just think can be changed for the better to make this overall a better experience and a game that will actually have a community for time to come and not just be, you know, active within the week of its release, like Umbrella Corps. Anyway, so let's talk about this a bit. So obviously I explained the idea of what the game is, what you're supposed to do. So there's 4 survivors, all 4 completely different character models with their own unique voices, abilities, and I like that. I like the idea that they have abilities unique to them. My favorite character is Valerie, who is the support character, essentially the most support character of them all, because they do have abilities to support each other. She's able to put down essentially a first aid spray, like that's able to do an AoE healing. As long as you're in the area, you get the healing towards you. It will remove poison, and it's just really, really useful. Another ability that she has is she's able to kind of scan through the area, and in her radius you're able to see any items within that spot. And I'm not going to go ahead and just review all the characters, abilities, and things like that, but I will say they work well. I like them. She's my favorite character. If I had to pick the next favorite character, it would be January, who is the hacker. They all have really good designs, And it leads me to believe that just like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 Remake, they are based off real people because they look really, really good. The environments also look really, really good. So as far as gameplay in that sense, it's good. It's a modified version of Resident Evil 2's gameplay engine. Obviously, it's all the RE engine, but it's a modified version of Resident Evil 2's. I think it's very janky. The melee weapons is obviously something that wasn't really present in Resident Evil 2. You had the knife, but besides that, there were no other melee weapons. You were mainly shooting. This game actually has dedicated melee weapons that, you know, punching, you have 2x4s, different things like that, sledgehammers. And this is something that I'm, you know, going to go into real quick, actually talking about, well, I'll talk about this at the end. I'll talk about the things that need to change, but there are melee weapons in this game, and they can be useful, they can be good. I think it fits well in this game. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to get towards the end of things that I feel need to be fixed, and yes, melee weapons are one of them, but I'll get to that later on. So you have firearms, you have melee weapons, and you have abilities that the characters have. Once you lock in a character when you're in a selection screen, I should mention this real quick, you can back out and let someone else take over. Obviously, that requires communication. So you kind of have to lock in your character as soon as you get in. It's not like Dead by Daylight where you can have multiple copies of a character. But either way, it's fun. You go through 3 areas that are really short, really small areas, and you have to do objectives in each of them to progress. Obviously, the third area, which is the final one, is the one that you have to do the objective so you can actually escape, and as the survivor, win if you have enough time to do so. So I think the overall set of things you have to do, the objectives, I think that's all great. The first area, you have to collect pieces of a giant Mr. Raccoon from Resident Evil 2 Remake and put it together to be able to escape to the next area. And area 2, you have to get a security card, and you have to activate 3 terminals to be able to unlock the next area. And in the final area, you have to destroy 3 biocores, which are basically like a BOW in a glass, and you have to destroy the 3 glasses and then open the security door, wait some time for it to open, and then you can escape, and that's how you win. Obviously, as a mastermind, you want to prevent that. You want to be able to kill them. You can respawn in this, I will say, as a survivor. You can die, you can respawn, but it takes 30 seconds away, if I'm not mistaken, from your overall timer, so it's something you don't really want to keep doing. But you could die, theoretically, a few times and be able to still win. It all depends on how fast you are. It all depends on how well your team works together and how good or not good the mastermind is. So let's talk about things now that I think need to be improved. Number 1, this game needs a ping system. Similar to Apex Legends. Apex Legends has a phenomenal pinging system. And what do I mean? Why would you want to ping in this game? Well, there's a lot of times where I drop an item and I say, I want to say to my team, hey, pick this up. Or, they may take the key card. This has happened to me in a few games. They'll take the key item that we need to progress and not pay attention at all that they have it. And they're the reason why we're not able to progress. They're just running around. So a pinging system, whether that's to take care of an enemy, to ping a trap. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into the traps on the floor. To be able to ping it would be great. To be able to ping the objectives. To be able to say, hey, come here, follow me. Have a quick command, things like that. Would be extremely useful, and I really, really hope that that is something that comes into the game. As well as, why not even, you're getting grabbed by an enemy and you have those few seconds, why not be able to ping and say, hey, can you help take care of this enemy? It's on top of me, it's about to bite me. Or, I'm down, can you please pick me up? You can see the icon of them downed, but, why not add a pinging system that would really help with that? Also, let survivors be able to see each other through the walls. It makes no sense that you can't do that because you're not at all able to tell where the hell your partners are. There's been numerous games where I'm at the end or I'm at some point where I need the backup and I just cannot tell where in the world my team is. And I want to address this too. I know that people are going to say, well, why don't you talk on voice chat? Number one, something like Dead by Daylight, it doesn't, at least I don't think it has it on by default. You're able to kind of communicate in the game perfectly fine without voice chat. But the real reason why in this game it's a problem, there is voice chat, but the mastermind can hear you. So if you're the part of the survivors and you're talking to your teammates that are the survivors, the mastermind can hear you. So if you say, oh, hey, come follow me here, let's rush to the exit, etc., they're going to know your plan. And obviously, you don't want that. So that's why I don't trust voice communication in this game. So a pinging system would be amazing. Another thing that would be great is increase the durability of the melee weapons. I feel that the melee weapons break way too fast, and they're not even like they're not like super OP. They're pretty strong, but they're not OP. So for them to break in 2 seconds makes no sense at all. And that's another balancing thing, which I'm going to talk about, a lot of balancing nightmares. The game's very janky in its animations. Those could be fixed. I feel that the animations aren't as smooth as they should be. They really need to be refined. Also, I've noticed enemies grabbing me through doors. I've noticed just a whole lot of nonsense in that regard. Just a lot of animations that just don't work well together. And why it amazes me is because this is based off Resident Evil 2's gameplay engine, and that is so well refined. But here, it just doesn't seem to perform as well as it should. And I'm hoping with polish it can be changed, because I do like Resident Evil 2's gameplay quite a lot. I think it does the over-the-shoulder camera angle justice. It does it really well. So polish up the animations. I've had a lot of glitchy things too, where my character will be shooting and the camera will be showing them backwards shooting. It just makes no sense, and it's really disturbing, and also takes you out of the immersion. So yeah, fix the animations, increase the durability of the melee weapons. I feel like they break way too quickly, and add a pinging system. Those are all things so far that I think should be fixed. Also, nerf the mastermind. Their mastermind is way too strong. I feel the mastermind throws out traps way too quickly, way too many. And also, when the mastermind takes over like a zombie, their health is insane. They're like, don't know how to die. Same thing with Mr. X. It makes no sense in even bothering to shoot him, because even shooting him with a rocket launcher, he can still walk. So it's like, what's the point? You can't take him down even as a team. It's just not fair. See, in Left 4 Dead, for example, that's another game where you could have PvP where there's survivors and there's monsters. I'll compare Mr. X to the tank, because that's essentially what he is. If you work together, you could take down the tank fairly quickly. Or like in Bioshock 2's multiplayer, when a teammate picks up the Big Daddy suit, you could take them down fairly quickly. Mr. X is nearly impossible to take down. He mainly goes down because the time limit runs out of the mastermind's control. So fix the balancing on that. A lot of the, things with the mastermind, he's just way too strong. You're just able to do way too much, and the survivor's abilities need to come off cooldown quicker. So something that I noticed is January's ability for, you would hit R1 or RB, she's able to shut off a camera. I've noticed that I'll do that and the camera will come back, I feel like in 2 seconds, but yet the cooldown for the ability is just way too long. So yeah, abilities also need a tweak in terms of the time, in terms of how quick they come off cooldown. I feel that the monsters' health need to be adjusted. I feel like lickers last way too long in this game. Even zombies, I'll be shooting them straight up in the head and they just will not die. And combine that with the amount of things that the mastermind can spawn, tons of zombies, traps, Mr. X, lickers. It's just completely unfair. The Mastermind can even buff the enemies, which I think is fine, but I just think it's just way too much. Also, hit detection in this game is awful. There's so many times where I'm shooting a zombie in the head, and it's literally taking off 0 damage. It's like registering as if I'm shooting them in the stomach or something. And it's stupid. As well as there also needs to be the removal of auto aim, or at least make it an option. If people want it, they can have it. If people don't want it, they shouldn't have it. Auto aim is enabled off the bat in this game, and it is such a terrible auto aim. It's not good whatsoever. It's not like Grand Theft Auto's auto aim where you'll always hit them. It's really, really bad. And since it's on by default, at least for Valerie and January, it's really bad. Or at least just Valerie. Give us the option to be able to turn off auto aim or just disable it altogether. It's really bad, doesn't help anyone. So yeah, auto aim is bad. Other things that need to be fixed. I mean, reduce the animation time for when you're coughing, when you're poisoned. I feel like that lasts way too long. Overall, I just feel that the game needs a better pinging system. The Mastermind needs some heavy, heavy nerfs. The survivors need buffs. Include new maps. So now we're going to venture into the territory of longevity. So really what this game needs is polish in terms of the animations and a lot of balancing. Everything else so far with the game I thought was great. Things that I'd like to see for longevity's sake of the game: you've got to launch the game with numerous maps. If this is the only map you're going to have, it's going to get stale really fast. A lot of people said that they were already bored of it, you know, within just the first 20 minutes of it, because it's essentially the same thing. So I think that you need to launch with numerous maps and make them all related to Resident Evil, you know, canon, the story of the games. Make it the RPD, make it the mansion, you know, make it different locations that fans will be familiar with. You could also put original new areas as well. Why not even bring some Outbreak levels? That would be pretty cool, a way to tie Outbreak into this game. So launch with multiple maps, launch with multiple masterminds. Why not have, you know, Nikolai be able to control Nemesis? Why not have Alexia, or actually have Alfred and have him control Alexia, or have Alexia, human form, control Nosferatu? I'm just throwing things out there. Not all of them are going to make sense. Why not have Sadler send out Mendez, Chief Mendez? I mean, there's a whole lot of different possibilities they could possibly do with this, and I think it's interesting. So multiple masterminds. They already teased Annette controlling William, which is perfect. So there's a lot of room for that. Why not have multiple skins that you can earn, not buy, no loot boxes, none of that. Skins that you can earn for the characters. Why not have skill trees where you can, you know, buy and upgrade certain things, but like make it exclusive to a ranked mode. So why not have a ranked mode where you have a skill tree where you could upgrade the survivors, upgrade the mastermind, and make their stuff better, but make it exclusive to ranked mode. So if people just want to play with like default settings, you have a player mode for that. Or private lobbies. You have to have private lobbies as well. So ranked mode with skill trees to be able to upgrade different abilities, different things like that. That would be really cool. That would add to the replayability factor. What else can they really do? Why not have the ability to add more characters to the game? Why not add actual heroes from the Resident Evil franchise into the game and be able to play with them? That would also be really fun. So there's a lot of things you guys, you know, at Capcom can do with this game. I know Capcom's not developing this game. I forget the name. Is it Neo something that they're outsourcing the game to? But Capcom's still supervising it, so I think there's a lot that could be done to not only fix the game, but even add to it. Another thing that I think would be completely genius is to make this game crossplay. So Sony just made it that any developer that wants to enable crossplay can do that for PlayStation to Xbox to PC. Why not make this game crossplay? I noticed when I was playing the beta, even at prime time, you know, when people would be home in the evening, it would take me over 5 minutes to get into a game with the survivor. And don't even get me started on the mastermind. The mastermind could take upwards to 10-15 minutes to find one game. That is going to turn people off so fast. And the funny thing is that Umbrella Corps, even though that game's community died fairly quickly, really quickly actually, the queue times in that were not nearly as bad as this. So that's saying something. And that's Umbrella Corps that you have to pay for. This was a free beta that you just have to sign up for. So, again, that's saying something. And this is a better game than Umbrella Corps. So, why not enable crossplay? You're going to have to launch this game in a way that people are going to purchase it, because I just don't see people spending $30, $40, $50, $60 on this game. You're going to have to launch it at maybe 30 tops, but definitely like 20 would be a sweet spot. Because I don't think this game's probably taking you guys a whole lot of money to, costing you guys a whole lot of money to make. I don't know, but I don't think so, because you're essentially reusing assets. But launch it at a price that's great if you're not going to enable crossplay. But even if you do enable crossplay, definitely do that, because the loading times are going to be absolutely horrendous. That's something that all over the subreddit, Resident Evil subreddit, people were complaining about, and I was complaining about it on stream, and people in my stream who were playing the beta themselves were also experiencing that. So it's not an isolated incident. So definitely work on the queue times. There's, like, again, there's a good game in here. There's a lot of people who liked it. There's a lot of people who hate it, which is completely understandable. But you want to get people to want to play this for more than a weekend, you know? So I want to play this game for more than a weekend. Like I said, I would love to get viewers in here and just constantly play games. It'd be fun to do content for this game. So maybe even add in some other multiplayer modes. There's maybe... I don't really know what you could do more than what you're doing already as far as this asymmetrical gameplay. But that's what I really feel could be done to fix the multiplayer. In a nutshell, polish, balancing, and tons of content that you can earn in the game. Not that you have to pay for. Just constantly add free new maps, you know, fast, add new characters, add new skins, add new masterminds. You did great with Resident Evil 2 Remake in that you added the Ghost Survivors fairly quickly after launch, and it was free. It made everyone happy. You could do that with this game. The whole thing is that since this is a multiplayer heavy game, you want this game to last for years. And since the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet are supposed to be backwards compatible, this game could carry over to that and people could keep the community alive. But it's up to you to listen to the community to fix this game before it releases. Not a day one patch, not a week after the game comes out. Day one. You know, if this is going to be a retail game, when I pop that disc and install it, ready to go, it needs to be like that. No waiting for balancing, no waiting for patches. It needs to be ready to go. This is the time to work on it. If you have to delay it, delay it. I want this game to succeed. I want this game to be good. The whole point is, I would much rather have Resident Evil Outbreak HD or whatever, Resident Evil Outbreak File 3. But obviously, this is a game that they're invested in. This is a game that's coming out. It's already a thing. Why not have it be something that we can all enjoy? And if you don't like it, by all means skip it. This is not a mainline Resident Evil game. It's perfectly fine to do that. I want it to succeed because it's coming out regardless. I would just rather it be a decent game because it's coming out anyway, as well as it being a good game to have you know, games with my community here on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. overall, it would just be, you know, cool in that regard. As far as single player content, they announced at the last second they're going to be doing single player and offline single player mode. I still see it being bots only. It's probably going to be a bot game thing only, the same exact stuff. If it is that, what's the point? It's just going to be a glorified tutorial. Add a story mode, please, with these characters. Make it similar to Left 4 Dead. If you don't want to put the time in to make it like a traditional Resident Evil story, make it just like Left 4 Dead, where I can play with we could play the 4 survivors offline as bots. Even split screen 2-player would be pretty cool, and have it online 4-player co-op. No mastermind. You just deal with enemies and you go from point A to point B. Make it similar to Left 4 Dead, and I think that would be pretty damn cool. I love the design of these characters. I love the abilities. The game looks good. It just needs to play better. But I see that as a way to get a single player story mode in there without having to do tremendous work. Again, this isn't being developed by Capcom. You have to be realistic with what they can do. And this game's already underway in development. And I'm sure Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 8 are as well. That's completely separate from this. But I think that would be a cool way to do a story campaign for this game. But make it have actual cutscenes and give them actual story the way they gave story to the survivors in Left 4 Dead. But give even more. Give cutscenes, unlockables, just specifically for offline. You want to make this game good for people who only want that offline experience, as well as the ones that want it for the multiplayer experience. I think you can make a good all-in-one package. Again, I'm going to keep stressing this point. You just have to listen to your community. And I know this is kind of a sort of rambly video, but I'm just trying to get all my thoughts out there. This is the first time I'm recording this, so this isn't edited, this isn't scripted. This is, you know, off the top of my brain, just, just completely natural. I want this game to succeed. I want this game to be good. I want it to be good for people who are fans of single player. I want it to be another offline co-op game for those who want to play it at home, with a friend or family member, split screen. And I want it to be good for those who just want the multiplayer aspect. This isn't a mainline Resident Evil game. It's not being developed by Capcom, which means it's not taking anything away from Resident Evil 3 Remake or Resident Evil 8. So I'm okay with it, and I just want it to be good. So please, hopefully someone at Capcom is listening, is watching. You don't have to listen to me, but please listen to the community. The community is what's going. I can't even speak. The community is what's going to keep this game alive and to make this game flourish. You want this game to do well. I want this game to do well. So that's all I'm going to say here. So again, the short and abbreviation version of this is polish to the animations, balancing to the mastermind, nerf the mastermind, buff the survivors, fix the cooldown for the abilities, have a pinging system in the game, reduce the health on a lot of the creatures. It's really ridiculous. Take off auto aim or give us the option to turn it off. And add a lot of content to the game free of charge. If you are going to add paid content, make it cheap and make it something that doesn't take away or, ruin the game experience. No overpowered weapons, none of that crap. No overpowered mastermind. Make it a fun experience, because I want this game to be good. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this is a long video. I just really want to get my thoughts out on this game. And also, feel free to share your own thoughts. If you've played the Project Resistance beta, let me know what you think could be improved, what you did like about it, what you didn't like about it, as well as those who are interested in Project Resistance but who haven't played it, but what would you like to see? This is a crucial time to let Capcom know what you want and don't want from this game, so that they hopefully implement whatever it is and we get a product that we all enjoy, or at least some of us will enjoy. Either way, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.